done. A melee focused Leviathan Seige Dreadnought. With drills and claws and all sorts. So let's have a look. Well, this is the first one I've actually seen in the flesh, so to speak. Again, with the Sons of Horus and Pure Fists. But, ooh, that is a lot of claws. Well, probably enough for two of each type. Huh. It's really weird. I've only made the resin one, and you can already see similarities between the two kits. It's just odd seeing it in plastic. The head's in half as well. So, that's interesting. If you're pretty good with kit bashing, you could like make like a robot looking skull head. Half and half head or something. Rocket pods in half as well. Sons of Horus on that one. Got two different chest pieces. That's interesting. Good for extra bits. Alright. So, what we've got here is... Ah, right, I see. These two look like they have that shield on it, so there must be, yeah, there's the other side of it. Goes on there, then that sticks on there. You know, this is a very nice kit. I do like the fact that these clip on the front now, so that does give you a bit of an easier time if you want to make a different looking Leviathan. And the feet. Long and small. Wait a minute. Huh. Braced, braced, angled. Well, huh. 3 feet. One angled, two flat. Ah, so you do have a choice for it to be moving. Oh, that's a really good idea, that. Huh. You get two Leviathans, you get per feet. It's really weird. You look at one part, that's the part used to be resin by itself, not like that, just like that. Same with that. That's how it used to come. That's what you got to build it from. Same with that part. All that, that's how you used to get it, just like that in the resin. That is so strange. All of that, that all builds one part again. That one part again. Those two are made from those bits. Basically, when you're making the resin kit, you connect those two up, and then you have the feet, the midsection there, the stomach, kind of thing. And this is what it would look like when you were building it out of resin. I just find that quite amusing. All in all, they're quite similar how they're built. It's just the resin is like the parts are all pre-built. This, it's just yeah. Oh, there's 3 chests apparently. Oh, I missed one. Oh, a clear one as well. I'll probably use the clear one up and put some iconography on it. Ah, is close quarters weapons. Siege drill requires 3 teeth, so there's 6 of the heads there. Yeah, so you can build both. Well, that's handy. So if you literally wanted to, you could buy 2 Dreadnoughts, one ranged and one not ranged. As long as you magnetize them in the right place, you could literally make them both. In close quarters. You just have to look how high up the point went. Now they would probably both use the same there, so you would have to. The parts use the same. Right, there's that bit there. So it's a D9, D10. Yeah, the only way you would actually do it is if you magnetize the claws, the actual teeth to it, all the drill bits to it. So no, you wouldn't be able to. That's a shame, but yeah, otherwise it would just look like that. You would need an additional one of them. So no, there's enough in here to make 1 pair because of that. For saying that, I can make plenty of uses for them. But just realised, hold on. Right. Oh, right. Yeah, I can see it now. Those teeth there are in half. Yeah, okay, that didn't make any sense then. Those 2 go together and attach to one of them. So that's one, that's another, or just these. Awesome. That's cool, that. So, next to make this look more Dark Angel-esque. So I've basically got all the parts ready to build into the Leviathan. Now the problem is with Leviathan. Well, look, it's so much flexibility in this thing. It's surprising how much flex you got. Look at that. And that's just the midsection, you know. So you can pretty much think now when just the foot, you got the leg, and not including the knee that will slot in the front there, but you've got that part as well. You've got all that flex, a little bit of flex on the bottom there. That's if you don't add a tiny bit in there just to bring the foot up slightly. So you got a bit more movement again, because I do that from time to time. There is a lot, you know, by the time you've put that leg in as well, the ball joint is very forgiving as well. So, yes. Now it's looking at planning. I'm basically thinking where on this, what kind of stance I want. So, next part is work out the stance and then start building. Also at this point I'm thinking of either upgrading or changing out parts for Dark Angels bits. Including the head. Might upgrade the head as well. So, let's crack on. So first off, we're going to take some of these chess pieces, the smaller one there, the pointier one on the chest, is actually a venerable Dreadnought. And we're going to carve the front off the Leviathan chest and place the chest of the venerable Dreadnought inside it instead, to give it a bit more of a gothic look. Also, the legs off the venerable Dreadnought, I'm going to take the knee pads off the Leviathan and swap them, not so much swap them, but shave down, sand down the front of the knee pad and put the Gothic arches on the knees. So I need to take the front off. Sanded it down until a little box popped up on each of them, like so. So nice and thin. And these arches I cut out and flattened on the back. Might need to chop off a little extra bit on the top corners there. As for standing the Dreadnought on the base, I decided to put some scenery on, so it's kind of moving over the scenery to give it more of a more in motion look than just keeping it stationary. So once I'm happy with the idea, I'm going to start locking bits in place, starting with the scenery and then working up from there, 1 foot at a time, then one leg, and then I'll put the hip points in, and then I'll put the other leg in. On this particular one, I've got to try and remember where the hip is going to be on the base, so that will help me then balance the model out. Then working out where that second foot is going to be placed, so the pin that I'm going to use to strengthen the back foot can be placed into the rubble, so the leg, the foot is passing over the terrain. So at one point I'm going to get like the corner of the foot to be touching the scenery and put a pin through it. Just a bit of extra strength for the model. Bend a dark angel symbol like so, and then place it on this part here. And then it's just putting it together. Like I said, the legs are probably the hardest part, getting them to look how you want them. I want a nice fluid motion going over this, which I was very pleased with how it worked. Nice to see the flexibility on these kits though, is still one of my favourite out of the Forge World range. And now it's plastic, which is even better. I'm adding some green stuff under this now just to fill in those gaps. I'm nicking some cameras now to fill in around the back of the head there, as it seemed a little bare. And then adding the body to the legs. Everything was very flexible, and there's so much movement that you can give these. So yeah, that's a quick little review on the Dreadnought, trying to show what you can do with it. It's quite flexible and all the rest of it, but yeah, I hope that's useful and informative for some people. Hope it helps, and yeah, thanks for watching.